In the crisis on the Capitol, the House Select Committee has begun a series of hearings detailing evidence it covered in its investigation into the January 6th Capitol attack.
Last night, the committee laid out its most comprehensive picture yet of what happened that day. CBS 4's Natalie joins us from Capitol Hill with more on the hearings.
Elliot and Trish, I spoke this afternoon with Central Florida Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, who sits on the Select Committee. She says last night they shared just a fraction of the mountains of evidence she says the committee has gathered, describing that initial hearing as just a preview of what's to come. The historic primetime hearing of the Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol is just the first.
The world is watching what we do here.
As the panel lays out its case that former President Donald Trump oversaw and coordinated a multi-part plan to overturn the 2020 election.
We believe Donald Trump is responsible. He lit the flame. He summoned the mob. This could still be a problem. Democracy is not safe unless we agree to follow a certain set of standards.
In never-seen-before testimony, former Attorney General Bill Barr said he made clear he didn't agree with the idea the election was stolen.
I told the president was.
I respect Attorney General Barr, so I accepted what he was saying.
Former President Trump, responding on his social media platform, blasted his daughter, saying she was not involved in studying election results. House GOP leaders have criticized the committee as political and illegitimate. In a new revelation by the panel Thursday, Vice Chair Liz Cheney said that Pennsylvania Republican Scott Perry and multiple other GOP members sought presidential pardons for their roles in attempting to overturn the election. Congressman Perry on Twitter called it an absolute shameless and soulless lie.
We have the documentation.
The committee also revealed Thursday that the former president did not call federal law enforcement to protect the Capitol that day. Then Vice President Mike Pence did, as officers engaged in hand-to-hand combat.
And I saw friends with blood all over their faces. I was slipping in people's blood.
CBS News has confirmed a former DOJ official is expected to testify next week. Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy says on Monday the Select Committee will be presenting their evidence of what she described as the origins of when the president began to plant seeds of doubt regarding the election results. She says we'll hear from witnesses who told the former president he had no path to victory. And Congresswoman Murphy says ultimately she hopes that the American people, regardless of their political party, will understand that this was an effort to take away their vote and their voice. On Capitol Hill, I'm Natalie Brand, CBS 4 News.